Hello, welcome to 2026. I wanted to take a few moments to reflect, to thank you and to make you aware of what's coming in 2026. I'm really quite excited about it. 2025 has been rather challenging, but it has been a critical step in my work to bring STAMP, STPA and CAST into the mainstream, developing better ways of thinking about safety, complex systems and how we design, engineer and ultimately make systems safer. Now, first, I just want to say thank you for being part of my community. Whether you joined a live stream, watched a video, attended a webinar, commented on my LinkedIn posts, worked with me directly, asked a challenging question, or shared your own experience, your participation really helps to make my work meaningful and to keep going when going gets tough. This is a really lonely and challenging journey, as I'm sure you can appreciate. So thank you for your time and your trust and your openness throughout the year. Looking back at 2025, it's been a really busy, very challenging but rewarding year. In terms of the work I can share publicly, I've run 7 LinkedIn live streams totaling just under 27 hours of live performance. And across those sessions, I was joined by 66 live people with nearly 3,000 replay views, which to me, that shows that people were engaged well beyond the live events themselves, which is fantastic. On YouTube, I published 11 videos this year, which, admittedly, it might not sound like much when compared with Mr. Beast or PewDiePie, but for me, it's the most I've done so far. So, that's been a big milestone for me. And those videos generated over 1,200 views and 184 hours of watch time. Across my channel as a whole, there were more than 6,700 views and over 600 hours of total watch time, which just completely blows my mind. So if you're not already a subscriber, please get over to YouTube and subscribe. Now, in addition to this, I've run 2 free live Zoom webinars, which created space for the attendees to have a more focused interactive learning experience where we covered submarines and fighter jets. Now, it's important to appreciate that each platform serves a different purpose. LinkedIn live streams, they support timely open conversations and sharing of experience. YouTube allows for a more deeper exploration of complex topics. And then, of course, live Zoom sessions, they enable structured learning and, more importantly, the dialogue. Now, across all of those, a few clear themes kept emerging. One recurring theme was a growing recognition that STAMP, STPA and CAST go well beyond traditional safety methods, especially in situations where no obvious failure has occurred. And many participants spoke about how making the control structure explicit allowed them to go much deeper and to ask far better questions and see the system interactions much more clearly. And to that extent, it helped them extend their analysis far beyond traditional Swiss cheese-based thinking. Another recurring theme, particularly for those new to these methods, was discomfort. And more importantly, the realization that this discomfort is part of the learning process. Now, those who stuck with it, who worked through that initial unease, they consistently described a step change in how they understood safety problems. And in 2025, I worked with 66 people directly. That work covered a wide range of domains, including nuclear submarine combat system safety, spacecraft systems and planetary protection, healthcare information technology, patient safety, hazardous facilities safety, and then a few accident case studies across railways, fast jets and submarine operations. Now, what stood out across all of this work was how quickly people began to see further into their systems once the control structure was made explicit, and how that clarity changed the depth of and quality of their analysis and their ability to make great decisions. I don't treat this as a headline number. Every person trained represents real responsibility because the ideas we work with influence real decisions in complex, high-consequence environments. I also want to say a sincere thank you to my clients. Thank you for trusting me with your people and your systems and your most challenging questions. The work we do together is rarely simple and often uncomfortable, but that is exactly what meaningful safety work requires. Your willingness to move beyond familiar methods and to engage honestly with system behavior and structure rather than just simple failures. It's what makes this possible. Now, looking forward, 2026 marks an important milestone. For the first time, I will be able to begin sharing some selected clients' results from the important work that we've been doing. And this is reflecting sustained application of stamp-based approaches in real organisational settings. Now, my intention is to present this work at the MIT Stamp Workshop, contributing practice-based evidence back into the wider system safety community. And this really matters to me because sharing strong, hard-won safety practice is critical to all of our well-being, and 2026 marks, for me, it seems quite ridiculous reflecting on it. It's almost 16 years since I embarked on my own stamp journey back in 2009. And on reflection of all of that time, we, as in humanity, really cannot afford to wait much longer before we start the journey with stamp. With that said, entering into 2026, I want to be really clear about my focus for this year. My primary goal this year is to train and support as many people and organisations as I can, with a stretch goal to train 1,000 people directly this year. Now, this is a deliberate shift away from creating educational content for social media towards live interactive learning. And depth of understanding matters. And because real learning happens through dialogue, challenge and shared problem solving, and not just through watching videos at double speed and then not taking action, I want to support this by delivering publicly for the first time my stamp STPA hazard analysis and cast accident analysis foundation training throughout 2026. Now, this is a foundation training, and it is the first step on the journey of learning and properly getting started with stamp, STPA and cast. Now, regarding dates, I've already set 12 live training dates scheduled in Q1 2026, covering both US and European time zones. And I've already had some registrations, so if you're one of the fantastic people watching this, thank you. I'm really looking forward to seeing you and hearing about your experience, and of course answering your difficult, awkward questions. For those that have not already registered, spaces are limited and are already beginning to fill up, so if you are planning to attend, I would encourage you not to delay. Further details and dates for later in 2026 will be announced in due course. I will also be making an announcement about my other advanced and role-specific public courses in Q1 2026. And these are essentially the next step beyond the foundation course, because the foundation course will make you essentially somebody who can contribute to a stamp-based study using CAST or STPA. But to go further and beyond that, you really need more support and training based on the experience I've had. Now, if you need help outside of a public foundation training and you want to work together in 2026, there are several ways we can work together. Now, typically I work with organisations on private projects, either in terms of delivering the foundation training and equipping people to understand what it's all about and have a bit of a go themselves, or an STPA cast focused version of that training specific for them, or on specific projects either as an advisor, a consultant, or an independent reviewer. And that's particularly where there is a concern that something's not quite right and the organisation needs a fresh set of sharp eyes. And if that's you, please again do not delay, get in touch and let's talk about how an independent stamp-based review can provide valuable clarity, especially when it's done early. And you can get in touch by visiting my website. If you visit www.whiteley-safety.co.uk, there's a handy green button at the top that says I need help now. Click on that, fill in your message, fill in your details, let me know, how I can possibly help, and we'll move forwards. In terms of booking onto the foundation course, you can visit my website or click the link below, visit the page, go through the page, see what there is, you'll learn about the course, and then you can pick a time zone and you can essentially pick that time zone and book your details in. If you need more than one person, you need to register more than one space, you can increase the quantity there. And then of course the VAT tax calculation, that is calculated at checkout. So when you put your address and postcode in there, if you're not based in the UK, then it'll be zero VAT, so you don't have to pay VAT. And if you are in the UK, of course, you'll have to pay VAT. So just to close, thank you again for being part of my community, and thank you for your engagement, your trust, and your commitment to improving safety in complex systems. I'm really looking forward to continuing this fantastic work together in 2026. So please Kindly share this video with your friends and colleagues who you think would benefit. And of course, like all the other fantastic YouTubers, please remember to like, share and subscribe. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in 2026.